Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Unwanted Mind podcast. I believe this is episode 9. This is exciting. I'm about to hit episode 10 next week, and just having 10 podcasts, 10 episodes. Not 10 podcasts, but 10 episodes of this podcast is just mind blowing. Just for me, that's a lot. So just being able to just record every week. Having the schedule and just setting this as a priority, because I set this as a priority because it's something that I have to get done, and just approaching it as something I got to get done. It's just it makes everything much easier, and it just like it feels good to be able to talk about topics that I enjoy talking about. You know what I mean? Um, I apologize. I apologize because I have allergies right now, and I kind of have like a stuffy nose, so that's why I sound this way. I'm not sure if you can really tell if I sound a little different from the other podcasts, but yeah, I've been like kind of sick. Not really sick because I don't feel sick. I just like allergies. Stuffy nose and all that, and a sore throat, but. We're gonna push through it. We're gonna record this episode, and there was a lot of big topics for this weekend. Or for the since the last time I recorded the podcast, like throughout the whole week and the weekend, and yesterday Monday, there was so much that happened. Such as we have the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2, coming out. I did go to watch it because I was pretty excited to watch it. I also saw Morbius this weekend. I saw 2 movies this weekend. Very blessed. Even though that movie came out and I already took my stance on the Morbius, um, I will get into Morbius a little bit because my opinion did change about it big time. Um, because I was bashing on the other podcast I recorded. It was like titled like Morbius flop. Um, yeah, I actually really liked it. And maybe I'll just start off with right now. It just like because I wanted to be quick because it's kind of old news to be honest, but I really liked it. I mean, I would okay. So I didn't really like it, but I did find it as a good movie. I would have given maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I was hating on Jared Leto. He was amazing as Morbius in the movie. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie, and I do recommend watching it. It did feel, even though it was like an hour and 40, it did feel pretty long, and I was a bit sleepy throughout the movie. So I don't know if it was because of the movie itself or it was just because, I was just tired that day. I have no idea, but I was like super sleepy during that movie. But for the parts that I did see, like the fight scenes, action scenes, I don't want to spoil it, obviously. I know a lot of people haven't watched it yet, but the action scenes was really good. The way Morbius looked, the way just the overall movie was pretty sick. I like the theme, like the dark theme of the movie. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Obviously, I'm gonna avoid spoilers. I'm just gonna talk about the box office and what the reviews are on it. We also have Britney Spears. She comes out as pregnant. That's a huge surprise because not that long ago, her I believe it's called the conversorship. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean when I'm talking about like yeah, like there's big news on her. Now there's bigger news on her that she's pregnant, and I believe this is her third baby. So that's pretty cool. You know, having kids is fun. We have Bia's new song, London, featuring J.Cole. What? Like, I haven't said this on this podcast. I don't believe I've said this, but I got into Bia maybe 2 months ago. Like, obviously, the first time I heard it was on that Russ song. I believe it was called Around the World or something, Around the Earth. He's like, I like the way she works. She always puts me first. And I know we've been around, but sorry, you got Best on Earth, Best on Earth. I just remember the song title because of the hook. Um, so yeah, so I got into Bia from that song, but I didn't really listen to much of her music after I heard that song. Obviously, until like 2 months ago, where I got into her. I listened to like her discography because it was pretty short. So I was like, oh, she has an album out, a couple songs. Oh, I can listen to all the songs. And I did, and I actually really, really liked her music. Like the song with Lil Jon, and just her other music, like the whole album, I really fucked with. And she has bars, and the way she delivers is just crazy. So like seeing that J. Cole also recognizes her talent and shit, I'm like, oh my god, that's dope because he also saw what I see in her, you know. And that song itself, holy fuck! But I'm gonna get into that obviously a little later on. We also have Miley Cyrus' parents divorcing after 28 years. That's insane, but it's just like it could. Obviously, it seems crazy at a surface level, but you really have to get into details and just like at the end of the day, man, you want to be happy, right? So it's just like if they both felt like it was the best decision, to make them happier, and then that's what it has to be. Because at the end of the day, man, you gotta be happy. Like you can be in a relationship for years. You can be like, I was in a relationship for 40 years. But someone asks you, are you happy? And you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not happy. It's cool to say that I was in a relationship for 40 years. So it's just like shit like that. You can't let those numbers take over, your happiness. So, um, another topic, we also got the game. Wack 100, I believe he's not a rapper, but he's like part of the hip hop community, hip hop scenario. Wack 100 says that the game, has a diss track for Eminem, titled "The Black Slim Shady." Whew. I did talk about this on my last podcast. I mean, I think it was 2 podcasts ago. About how the game, but I talked about how the game said that he's better than Eminem, but now he has a diss track for Eminem. That's I really believe we're gonna see the start of something. Like this is just the beginning. Like we're gonna see. This is gonna end badly. And I believe that this is gonna be like an Eminem MGK shit. You know what happened, MGK? He switched genres, and I'm not saying that the game is, because obviously the game has been in the rap game for so long, but like, and the game is also a completely different person, completely different rapper. He's an elite rapper. The game is, but dude, Eminem, dude, I don't know. You don't want to start a fight with that motherfucker. Also, there's a leaked video of the game saying that the Eminem's the best rapper alive and that he would run away if the Eminem ever wanted to compete against him. So I will get into that later, but that's crazy that he says that. We also have Jack Harlow releasing his new song titled First Class. I believe it dropped last Friday. And holy shit, dude, is that a good song? And it's doing numbers. And people are just around the world are just talking about that song. And we also have, I know this is kind of old news, but it kind of re-sparked because someone else joined in. It was Kanye West dropping out of Coachella 2022. And also the Weeknd, being the replacement for Coachella and asking for the same amount of money because they were trying to lowball him, which is fucking nuts because it's the Weeknd. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are the topics for this podcast. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Yeah, so for the first topic, let's start with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Let's start off with the reviews. Right. So from Rotten Tomatoes, on the tomato meter, they rated Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a 67%, which is a lot of people could be like, really, that's kind of low. But like it's pretty decent, right? It's above average, slightly above average, like something else. But but what's it called? That's not a bad rating. Like, I believe for the first movie it was a bit lower, and honestly, fair enough, cause I much prefer the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie over the first one. And I know that's saying a lot because the first one is supposed to be like the representation of how the movie's gonna be, like how this whole Sonic universe is gonna be. Doctor Eggman, all that. But like, this was by far the best one. Like, the story, the characters in this movie, the graphics, like everything about this movie was way better than the first one. Like, by a mile. You know what I mean? Like, this, like, if you saw this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've seen some crazy shit in this movie, and I believe they're preparing for a third Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. So I believe in that movie there's gonna be a special character on which I do not want to spoil because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But there's a special character that a lot of people are going to be surprised about. And just you wait until you see that post-credit scene. So 67, yeah, that's pretty decent, you know what I mean? But let's talk about what really matters, right? The audience score. What did the audience rate this Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie? Because, in my opinion, this was a really great movie, but of course, the audience could be like, they can say otherwise, or maybe they could agree with me. Let's find out. So, the audience score rated this. Are you guys ready? A 97%, dude. Holy fucking shit. With 2,500 plus verified ratings, the audience score rating was 97%, dude. Holy fuck. I'm telling y'all, dude, this was a really great movie. Definitely top 5. Definitely top 5. Because let's keep it real. There was a lot of great movies that came out this year, and there's just gonna be more. You know what I mean? So, I'm not saying this is gonna be movie of the year, but it should definitely be up there. It should definitely be in the conversation. Like, it should be up there. You know what I mean? Definitely, like, maybe top 5, top 10, at least top 10. You know what I mean? This was a really great movie, and I just love Sonic. Growing up as a kid, playing the Mario vs. Sonic games, and just playing the classic arcade Sonic games, like at an arcade or on the PlayStation 2. It's just, or on the Nintendo Wii. It's just it was so much fun. So just seeing this in a live action movie with like a whole storyline, a whole plot with real characters from that game, and like actors that play along well with this whole Sonic concept movie. It's just so dope. And at first I was a hater on it for the first movie because obviously we all know what happened in the first one. The Sonic looked like just so fucking weird. But obviously they changed them up to look better. And people were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be a flop." Then, if Sonic looked like that and that's how he passed through, this movie's gonna be shit. And I recently rewatched the first one, and I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." Like, it was a good movie for the first Sonic movie. It could have been better. Obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement, but it was a pretty decent movie, right? But the second one, though, crazy. And I'm also gonna say, because I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm just gonna say that this movie's rated This movie's rated PG, but there was a lot of sexual references in this movie that I was like just stunned and just shocked. I'm like, dude, kids are listening to this shit. Like, there were just so much references to like fucking Magic Mike, Brazilian fucking waxing. Like, dude, I was like, what the fuck, bro? I was even like, dude, like, why are they even mentioning shit like this? Like, it makes sense with the whole, I know I'm saying it out of context. You're like, you might be like, what the fuck is he even talking about? But I guess in the conversation, it kind of makes sense, kind of. Even in the movies, kind of out of context, you know. You'll see if you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Or if you watch clips online, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it was just like, there's a lot of references like that, and obviously, like, I'm fine with that. Obviously, I'm not trying to be a Karen. Like, that's funny to me, but I'm like, dude, this movie's meant for fucking kids, though. You know what I mean? Like, this movie's meant for kids, and there's like references to that. I just imagine a kid asking the parents, like, what did he mean by that? The parents are like, yeah, just you know, use your imagination. You know. Yeah, and I also didn't mention for the Rotten Tomatoes, there was 125 reviews. That was 67. Yeah, so and also on the website, because I'm on Rotten Tomatoes website right now. For what to know, the critics consensus, I believe it said. It says, I believe it's an overall summary, like an overall just like critic review. It says it isn't as much fun as Little Blue Guy's greatest games, but if you enjoyed the first film, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 serves as a generally accepted sequel. In which, in other terms, this is a decent movie, according to the critics. Which is, I guess, is fine. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Let me read some reviews from the top critics because I don't believe I've done this before. Like, I haven't read like critic reviews like ever. Like, not like, I'm not just saying on the podcast. I'm talking about like ever. So let's just see how it translated accordingly to the critics. So I'm going to sort this by top critics. I don't know what makes them top, but I guess they have more experience and they work for a big, agency or whatever. So Nick Shagger, I apologize if I butcher any of these names, but Nick Shagger from the Daily Beast, these are all labeled as top critics. He says his review is that anyone over the age of 12 had best beware. Let me click here for the full review. I guess that's all he really says. There's a whole article about it, but I'm not gonna read all of it. It says anyone over the age of 12 had best beware. I don't know what the fuck that means. Yeah, I don't know what kind of review is that, to be honest. Blige Abry from the New York Magazine /Vulture says the first Sonic worked because it refused against all odds to turn entirely into product. Sonic 2, by contrast, is a disappointment, but an inevitable one. What? He really says that the first one beat all odds? Yeah, I mean, I did it entirely in to turn entirely into product. Sonic 2, by contrast, disappointment. Sonic 2 was not a disappointment. Like I want to see like what do these critics rate this movie on? Like what do they base their criticism on? Like, why is this movie a disappointment? Like, what part? You know? Could they say overall the whole movie was a disappointment? But what parts did caught you by surprise? You know, or like what moments caused you to think like this movie was disappointment? Like, what scenes? Because this overall movie was pretty good. Like, maybe the jokes could have been written better. I would say that because some of them were kind of cringy. Jim Carrey, he had. Obviously, he had a lot of good parts, but he also had some cringy parts along with some characters. But those are just cringe, and those are your shit that you just ignore. You're like it's just like dad jokes and shit. You're like, yeah, like some fake laugh shit, and then you just rub it fucking wipe your shoulders off. You know what I mean? But like, this movie was not a disappointment, dude. Like, I feel like people who fucking think this movie is a disappointment is just like they're kind of like sad with their lives, that they're just like that they don't enjoy these type of movies. You know, they just fucking like watching movies on their own and shit. Like, dude, this movie is for like kids, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to enjoy this movie with some kids. You're not supposed to fucking watch the movie alone. You know, that's some weird shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, no hate, you know, but I just think it's kind of weird. John Wenzel from Denver Post says that dismiss it as another cash-in. You wouldn't be wrong, but it's pure and apologetic fun. A thrill ride for kids that manages to fly by for adults too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with this. Obviously, it's another cash-in on which a lot of sequels are, you know, because they see that the first one did good. So obviously, what's the initial response? To make a sequel. You know, but yeah, I mean, I don't agree. I don't disagree on that. Yeah, exactly. This movie was a thrill ride for kids, and for adults, it was fine. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking disappointment, as the other guy says. This movie was okay, and luckily for me, I fit into both because I'm a young adult. So I fit in. I kind of fit into the kids, into the adults. I kind of fit in like in the middle a little bit. Obviously, a little slightly above the middle, but like I'm kind of in there. So I enjoyed the movie. You know what I mean? Like, I have a fucking I still have the inner kid in me that I can find enjoyment. I don't have to fucking watch a fucking action movie in order to be fucking left happy. Like, I can watch a movie like this and just still be like, that was cool. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoyed that. You know? Because the fucking people who make these movies aren't kids. You know what I mean? That's what people fail to understand. The people who make these movies aren't kids. These are adults. And I know they're making this shit targeted towards kids, but like, these are adults who make these movies. You know what I mean? So like, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of great work done by them. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just don't understand how someone just can be like, oh, this was a disappointment. Like, what led you to let this movie to be a disappointment? Was like fucking the popcorn stale that you were eating? Did you fucking, you know, have a bad breakfast? Did you fucking have to take a shit during the movie? Like, what? Why was it a disappointment? Like, you're literally sitting down watching a movie. What on earth could make that a disappointment? Like, you're just chillaxing. You're just fucking relaxing, watching a movie. Like, how could any of this be a disappointment? You know what I mean? Was fucking kids kicking you back at your seat or some shit? Like, dog, why was it a disappointment? You're just relaxing watching a movie. You know what I mean? Perry, I'm gonna read a couple more. Perry Nemroff, a critic on YouTube, it says right here, says that a bigger and better sequel in some ways, but not in others. However, the thrill of seeing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on screen together is an undeniable thrill, and the film still managed to earn its emotional payoff. So I don't believe that's a spoiler because it was in the trailer. So yeah, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are in this movie. Yeah, and seeing them all three together, and let's not, you know, exclude Jim Carrey, you know, as Dr. Eggman. Seeing him together with all those guys is fucking insane too. But you know, seeing all those Sonic all the Sonic characters, that was sick. You know, seeing them all three together. Yeah, it's just like the game. You know, that's fucking insane. Definitely a thrill. Definitely, like, people were comparing it to seeing the Spider-Mans in No Way Home. You know, as like the whole three together. Like, you know, like Toby, Andrew, and Tom Holland. Seeing them all together was like a good comparison to like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles seeing them together. Like, that was pretty sick. You know what I mean? Definitely something that stands out in the movie. We have Red Hand Simon Patali. Again, I'm sorry if I butchered these names. Worked for Now Toronto. He says that this sequel is exactly what I expected the first time around. Right. It leans heavily on brand familiarity and the predictable ways to bemuse child audiences. Totally random dance off. Anyone? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does lean towards brand familiarity, which it should, because that's all we know. That's all we know from Sonic. You know what I mean? So for the movie to be, similar to the game and stuff, that would make sense, and it does make sense. So yeah, I mean, just seeing a game come to life on a movie screen, it's just so dope, and we've seen it so many times, right? Maybe not so many times, but we've seen it with books like Harry Potter. You know what I mean? It's so cool seeing it, but especially as like a video game. Like we've seen Assassin's Creed come to life on a movie screen. That was dope. The Witcher on the TV show. You know what I mean? It's really nice seeing that. Because like video games for a lot of people, it's like stuff that they grew up on. So just seeing it come to life, on a live action movie screen, really dope. We have Johnny Olowensky from New York Post saying the novelty has worn off. The charms of the original have evaporated, and there's nowhere for the series to go. Yeah, so I just completely disagree with this. I feel like there's a lot of different ways where the movie can go. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of maps that haven't been explored yet from the Sonic games. There's still a lot of characters. The whole universe of Nintendo. Like, are we forgetting about the Mario vs. Sonic Olympic Games? Like, there's so many different ways where this could go. You know what I mean? It could go to, like, maybe one day Sonic collabs with Mario in a movie. Maybe a live action, Mario versus Sonic Olympic Games. Like, there's a lot of different ways where this could go. So I just don't see how this guy thinks that there's nowhere this series could go. There's so many different ways it could go. And we've seen it with TV shows, you know what I mean? Let's get a FEMA review. Because I'm reading a bunch of fucking dumbass mails. So Lindsay Barr from Associated Press says that hopefully there's time for a little reflection before the next one is fast tracked to a VFX house to do the brunt of the work. What this franchise needs most at this point is to slow down. Yeah. I agree with that, but also disagree a little bit. I'm gonna tell you why I agree at first, though, because like, the VFX was nice and stuff in this movie, and there's a lot of good scenes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great VFX, but I do understand that, how this could seem rushed, or because when did the last one come out? Like 2 years ago? You know what I mean? I do understand how this could seem rushed, or how the VFX, maybe the edits on this movie could seem like, I don't know, very just like quickly chopped. It could be just like, you know what I mean? Just like, I don't know. I do understand what she's saying, though. But why I disagree is just like, I feel like, we kind of have short attention spans, you know what I mean? And we want stuff quick, you know what I mean? Like, we want to see stuff, like, right when we see a movie, like for example, like when I saw the Batman, I'm like, dude, I want to see a sequel already, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see the Joker in the movie. But I understand it doesn't work that way. I understand I have to wait a couple years in order to get that, you know what I mean? I completely get it. And, I'm willing to wait that long because I know it's going to be great when it drops, and I know it's going to be perfect timing when it drops. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, this movie is targeted towards kids, but I know they should take their time with it. I know that, like, if they rush this shit, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad movie. But just like, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, the VFX were pretty good on this movie, so I don't know if I completely agree with the whole VFX. Um, needing work and seeming fast tracked. Um, but I do kind of understand where she's coming from. Um, yeah, so you know what I mean. It's just like overall, in my opinion, the Sonic movie was pretty good. It was really good actually. I actually think it was really good. Um, and yeah, I mean, I would recommend this. James Marsden. He plays Tom in this movie. I mean, he's kind of like the caretaker for Sonic in this movie. I'm just gonna say, dude, he has a great role, and he's really good. Obviously, Jim Carrey, I would say overall plays the greater actor in this movie. But yeah, I mean James Marsden, yeah, he played a really good like father to Sonic. Just kind of like best friend, and it was like we didn't see much of him in this movie. Um, but yeah, he was good. I would say Tika Sumster. She plays Maddie in this movie. The girlfriend to Tom. I would say she was a better actress in this movie. Just her overall like charisma and just like you can see like how funny she was in the movie. Along with like her family. This movie was so funny, dude. Like obviously I don't want to spoil it, but like her side of the family in this movie and the way they treated Tom in this movie. Wow, it was just so great. And I really enjoyed the acting in this movie. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Sonic 2, man. A lot of critics were saying that this was like a disappointment, and like I just don't agree. I really think this is an enjoyable movie. I really want to see this movie again with like my brothers or something. Like this is just a really great movie. So, I definitely recommend it. Hope you guys see it. I know there's some movies coming out this weekend, like Fantasy Beast. Obviously, those are movies to watch that you should definitely watch. But yeah, I mean, if you have time, dude, Sonic 2, man, yeah, it was really good, and it wasn't sold out. Like I bought tickets on a Sunday to watch Sonic, and it wasn't sold out. Actually, it was basically empty. There's like 5 seats taken. That's it out of the whole auditorium. So if you're worried about, finding seating, I wouldn't be worried because there's a lot of different times and just a lot of different seats where you can watch it. So yeah, I would say this is a great movie. I also want to mention before I move on to the next to the topic, um, the opening weekend for this movie, how much it made. It made $72 million. $72.1 million. And a major boost for the domestic box office revival, and particularly for the family market. I'm reading off the Hollywood Reporter. The PG rated pick came in well ahead of expectations, starting off when earning $26.5 million from 4,234 theaters. And Friday's Paramount initial weekend estimate was 71 million for the weekend, but traffic was better expected than on Sunday. Nearly 60% of the audience were families, obviously. Until now, titles largely depending upon kids and parents have struggled to break in because of the pandemic. Sonic 2 is also one of the few films of the COVID-19 era to open ahead of its predecessor. Others bragging rights, it is now the biggest launch of all time for video game adaptation. beating the first Sonic movie, and is also Paramount's biggest 3-day opening since 2014. And this is what I'm saying, dude. It did better than the first one. The first one is supposed to be like, holy shit, there's a Sonic live action movie. It literally did better than the first one. And it's Paramount's. Like, dude, Paramount. Do you know what Paramount is? It's such a huge brand, dude. And there's so many great movies that they have released throughout since 2014. There's been so many great movies. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is its biggest 3-day weekend opening since 2014. That is 7 years. That is crazy. So yeah, dude, definitely watch this movie. You know, it's doing numbers. It's the biggest launch of all time, not since this year or whatever, of all time for a video game adaptation. We've seen a lot of video game adaptation movies, like some examples that I said before this. There's a lot of them, and this is by far the best one. That is crazy, and that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's a great way to end this topic. So for our second topic for today, we have Britney Spears says she's pregnant, expecting baby number 3 on an Instagram post. That's wild, dude. Like, she literally just became free, and now she's gonna have a baby. That is amazing. It's just like it's cool to see her being like herself now. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure this wasn't the first time she's thought of having a baby. She's like, oh, because I just read something right now. Because I'm sure when she was on the conservatorship, that's how you say it, conservatorship, I don't think she was allowed to have a baby. And just saying that just makes me emotional, dude. She wasn't allowed to have a baby. Just think about that. Like, it's like we live in China or something. Because in China, you're only allowed to have one kid for each family. It's on that level. You shouldn't be able to tell a human being that they can't have a baby. That's just beyond insane. And it's just like unfathomable. Like, I can't even process that. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. She's on a conservatorship, but like, dude, that is just mind blowing. Yeah, it says she was forced to be on birth control during her abusive conservatorship. Made the announcement on Instagram Monday. Oh my god, dude. Not only was she not allowed to have a baby, but if she tried to, they would force birth control onto her. In other words, they would force her from stopping having a baby. They would force her to take shit that she didn't want to take to stop having a baby. So this is obviously not the first time she's tried to have a baby. You know, she had attempts on doing it, but obviously her conservatorship didn't allow her to do it. Dude, it's just like, it's such a weird thing to be a part of, because we don't see many of those things, right? We don't see many people in conservatorships. So it's just like, it's just so crazy to me, just, hear shit like that, because you're just telling someone what to do. Like, it's their body, but someone else can control of it, and it's just without permission. You know what I mean? That's the fucked up part. Without any permission. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do good for yourself. You want to, create a future. You know what I mean? But people are stopping you. And they have the right to do so. That is insane. Like, obviously, I'm not saying it morally. But since it's written on fucking paper, it's passed by the government, all that shit, for conservatorships to be allowed, that this can happen to someone, obviously with fair reasons, which I don't think there's many fair reasons for Britney Spears to be in conservatorship. Obviously, she has a past. Obviously, she was going through some stuff, as we all do. But I just think it went on for too long. I think this made her crazier. You know what I mean? I'm not saying she's crazy right now, but I'm saying like this messed her up even more. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like she started as free as being a pop artist to being owned for like years and not to be free again. It's just like it's such a weird ride. And it's a ride that a lot of people really don't come back from. You know what I mean? So it's just like such a weird thing. But at least, at least she's doing what she wants now. At least there's at least this moment's happening. At least there's a time where she can say that I'm finally off the conservatorship and I can finally live the life how I want it. With all that, being said, it's still fucked up what happened to her for this to have been passed by her father. So her exact caption was, "I got a pregnancy test today, ... and well, ... I'm having a baby." That is dope. That's really dope. Having kids is obviously a lot of people have different opinions about having kids. But it's honestly a gift. Whether you believe in God or not, it's a gift from God, or if you don't believe in God, it's a gift of life. And I see it both ways. I see it as a gift from God and a gift of life. Just having basically like your minion, just like having someone that you created walking around this earth. It's just like something I can't even like fathom yet, because I'm still young. Obviously, I do plan on having kids, just not obviously nowhere near soon, because I still got stuff to get done and settle out, But it's so crazy thinking about that. You know what I mean? And obviously, Britney Spears, she has 2 kids already, so she kind of already knows how it goes. But like, having kids off the conservatorship, that just like creates a whole new future for her and for her kid. And she's the kid that was born. No, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. I don't think she knows either. But this is gonna be her child that came off. That Britney. This is gonna be the baby where Britney Spears was laid off of her conservatorship. That's pretty cool. She's gonna have a conservatorship free baby. You know what I mean? Which is better than having a baby that was being raised while Britney Spears was in conservatorship. So so yeah. It says right here, amid Spears' conservatorship battle last summer, she claimed that her father forced her to get an IUD. She wasn't allowed to get pregnant. Yeah, I mean that's just insane. Her dad is just fucked up in so many ways and should be locked up. I don't know why her father isn't locked up yet. He 100% has to be in jail for this, but I guess according to the law, it's not illegal. You know what I mean? Because they allowed conservatorship to be given to him. But it's just like, you made this child, Her dad made Britney Spears. So it's just like, that the fact that you can treat your child like this is just so beyond to me. Just so beyond insane. So She's gonna have a child with Sam Asghari, I believe that's his name is. That's what his name is. He's a good looking man. Happy for her. Hopefully he treats her well. Hopefully he's a good guy, good man to raise his child with her. And yeah, I mean, I wish nothing but the best for the both of them, and for the kids, for the family. Spears, Britney Spears also says that I want to have the real deal. I want to be able to get married and have a baby. That's dope. I was told right now under the conservatorship I'm not able to get married or have a baby. So she wasn't allowed to get married either. That is so crazy. She said during the explosive court hearing as she begged as a judge to end the legal arrangement. She was literally begging, dude. That's fucked up. That's just so insane to me. That is just so insane. Like, no one should have to beg, for the end of the conservatorship. You know what I mean? The megastar Britney Spears has been engaged to Sam Asghari. Sorry if I butchered the name. Since September, but the pair have been dating for over 5 years. That is dope. That's dope. So they know each other. You know what I mean? They know each other and they fit well with each other. That's dope. She referred him as her husband, sparking rumors that the two secretly tied the knot. That's dope. She noted during her first pregnancy, she suffered from perinatal depression and plans to do yoga every day to remain healthy for baby number 3. Yeah, I mean, that's dope, man. You know what I mean? Like, she understands herself. She understands that, it is a hassle to, prepare to have a baby. So the fact that, she has solutions in order to deal with that is just, it's so nice to hear. You know what I mean? Because obviously you shouldn't be, what did it say, depressed, or feel bad in any way before having a baby. You should just want to be happy, just be relaxed, eat good, stay healthy, do yoga. I know it's going to be a hassle because obviously being pregnant and, doing any workout is going to be hard, but, I'm pretty sure she has that, she has that, work ethic in her to do that. She has the confidence to do that. So yeah, let's get right into the next topic. So for the next topic for today, we have Bia on her song London. It features a very special rapper, or as she calls it, or as she calls him, a masterful wordsmith. We have J.Cole. So we got Bia featuring J.Cole on a song titled London. I was like, when I first heard J.Cole was on this, I'm like, doesn't J.Cole already have a song? Oh, he's on a song called London, but the song that I was thinking of is called The London, which is a hotel. I'm not sure if it's in London, but it's called the hotel. This song is called London, as in, the city in UK. I'm just gonna say right now, dude, this song, it was shit. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Be a fan, J. Cole fans, back off. I love this song. I really, genuinely, I really do love the song. The way it started, the intro, just like, wow, it's such a vibe. The whole song's a vibe. You know what I mean? It's just like I could be literally doing anything and I'll be just like a fucking be, moving around. I move my hips and shit. Pause. I'll be fucking, dancing to this song, dude. Working out, fucking chilling, relaxing, working some stuff, drinking coffee at a coffee shop. Like, bro, like this song is literally perfect for anything. Car ride, you name it. You know what I mean? It's just such a vibe. And J. Cole, man. J. Cole, he wrote a huge caption on his Instagram when he had announced the song. He was just like, dude, I'm just like, when I first heard it, it was like one of the craziest songs I've heard in months. And just like, he was just like, for someone at that level, just to give so much praise to I wouldn't, I guess, be as an upcoming artist, I guess. I mean, she's pretty big, Um, and I'm pretty sure she sells out. But she sells out like arenas and shit. But she is still fairly new. But yeah, I mean the fact that J. Cole still like gives a fuck about what he does, in the music and shit. It's just like it's so dope, and it just like you really just gotta admire his passion for this shit. You know what I mean? Because it's obviously still there, and it shows. You know what I mean? Not only from him saying that he loves the song, but like from his music. Like when you hear his lyrics, you hear how he delivers. It's just like it shows at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because you feel the things that he says, and he still releases a lot of music, which he really doesn't have to. Obviously, I enjoy it. We all enjoy it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, he really doesn't have to. You know what I mean? He's already solidified as one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's a classic. He has classic albums. Like he really doesn't have to do this shit, but he does because he still has love for this shit, and it's just like it's just so dope, and it's just shit that you have to just pick up from. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got some verses from Bia. I'm in London. I like to go and shop at the mall, shop at the Prada, shop at the store. You know, the hook was dope. Her verse. It's very like it's kind of repetitive, but it's like it's very catchy. You know what I mean? And it's like she has bars. Like when she said shortage. You got a shortage on your funds, and I got a long clip on my guns. How she did like a simile with not simile, but like they sound like each other. Shortage, shortage, and shortage. I mean that was crazy. And like the UK slang that she uses throughout this song. Same with J. Cole. It's just like it just dope. The thing with J. Cole, dude, hearing him with a London accent or UK accent, I guess, it was kind of funny. It's still pretty funny, but it's just like he kills it, dude. And what's even funnier is that people on Twitter were like, he's the best UK rapper out right now. They're saying J. Cole's the best UK rapper. I'm like, dude, y'all really gonna consider him a UK rapper? Because he did like a decent accent. Yeah, man, but he fucking obviously, dude. I don't have to fucking mention him, but obviously he killed his fucking verse. He wrote like a fucking 32 bar, dude, just crazy. Yeah, I mean the song overall, like I said, great song. You know what I mean? I think this is preparing like for an album release from Bia. So if that is the case, I'm very excited. This is an amazing single, an amazing way to promote your album, and hopefully there's like great features like that on the album. But I also do fuck her with I fuck with like literally the songs I fuck with her on is like her solo songs. So like whether there's features or not, dude. I just the reason I want to hear features is because I want to see how well she does with like collabs. Obviously, we've seen with the J. Cole one that she obviously can stand her ground. But yeah, I mean, I want to hear what more artists, whether it's singing or going bar for bar, like how she did with Nicki. I want to hear more of this shit. So let's see how this turns out. And you bet your fucking ass that I'm gonna when Bia releases that album, I'm gonna put it in the headline on my podcast, and I'm obviously gonna be talking about it and reviewing it, giving it my brutal, feedback and just brutal honesty about it. So, since we're talking about songs, let's get right into the next song that I want to review and talk about real quick. So for the next song I wanted to talk about, we have First Class by Jack Harlow. Harlow! Come on, baby. From his album that he announced, hasn't released yet, but this is a single off his album, Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Yeah. That's a dope name. I actually really like that name. I just really don't like the album cover. It's really bad. It's a really bad album cover, and I know we're gonna get used to it because obviously, the songs are gonna be really amazing. It's gonna be really good. But I don't know. It's kind of like with C.O.B. Like, I still hate that cover, but the songs are just phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a really good album, but our cover just really shit. Because it's just like there's really not that much thought into it. Just him sitting down with a microphone stand right next to him. Like, there's really no art value there. You know what I mean? Obviously, the music speaks for itself, but I mean, I'm an artist, so I put thought into everything. Honestly, I think this is just a really bad cover, but this doesn't take away from the song itself. Because First Class, I'm gonna tell you right now, that song is probably one of the songs of the year. Should be nominated for Song of the Year at the end of this year. For like a Grammy or some shit. Because like, really good song, and I really fuck with it. Obviously the sample just stands out the most from the song. It's so dope that Jack Harlow, because obviously we heard What's Poppin'. He blew up from What's Poppin'. But he's stood his ground and he's maintaining his ground and showing people that he's not a one-hit wonder, that he's not just going to release What's Poppin' and just fucking dip off, that he's going to have more bangers coming to y'all. And people are saying that he's going to be like the next Drake, or he's going to be like one of the next greats. And I really do see that. And it's really dope, It's really dope for him to be in that position. You know what I mean? And plus, like, a lot of people could call him a one-hit wonder of What's Poppin', but then you hear his older music, which I've done. And it's his music has always been really good, like 5-0. I'm not really good with song titles, but he has a lot of great bangers. You know what I mean? And it's dope to see that from him, because he deserves it all. You know what I mean? Like Routine is also a good song. And he can really sing. Routine, he sings his heart out. And yeah, he can really stand his ground, like I said. And on this song, the producer fucking blessed him. I don't know if he had to like beg for this beat, because like, dude, this beat is just like shit that you don't just find. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to be super lucky in order to like. Imagine you're sitting down listening to the beats, and then you hear this beat. Just like, you have to be super lucky, because this sample is just like, it's so precious. You know what I mean? Because the song itself, where it was sampled from, is a classic, and it's such a vibe, and it's been around for such a long time that, like, if you use it, you really have to be careful with this. Like, you're holding something fragile. Like, if you just press it a little too hard, you're gonna fucking break it. You know what I mean? So I understand how, this could have been very bad in very many ways. And, and a lot of people do think that already. People are saying like, oh, he ruined the song or whatever. But like, I actually think it was really good. A lot of people were saying it's mid. Like, oh, he just, it's the same flow or whatever. This song is really dope. The way that he he flips the hook, by saying like, I've been a G, throw up the L, sex in the A, M, O, R, O, U, S, and I can put you in first class. I could put you in first. Like the way that he flips that shit, to make you like, to make it seem like he's telling you this, but like the sample is saying the last word, but he built a bar with that last word, and it's like it's really a puzzle when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean? Because as rappers, it gets kind of easy to do that shit, but like it really is puzzles because it does take some time to figure it out. Because you're like, how can I use the sample but not fuck it up? And like, just it's very creative and it's very cool to see that he did that. You know what I mean? Because obviously no one's tried doing it with the sample. Because I haven't heard a song with the sample at all. I just thought that a lot of people forgot about that. And a lot of people, I mean, obviously, a lot of rappers don't think about like, oh, I should flip this sample because it's such a great sample that it's just like, it just seems untouchable. It just seems like a sample that you're like, you won't use. You're like, oh, I can't use that. That song's a fucking classic. Like, whatever I drop cannot top that song. But who knows? Maybe this song could be bigger. It's definitely brought in more light to it because, it's an older song, but, TikTok and shit, they're going to get on this and it's going to be, the spark is going to be relit for the song. And it's just dope that he's putting that song back on the map. He's putting Fergie back on the map. You know what I mean? So the description for this song on Song Facts is that First Class is a braggadocious track where Jack Harlow boasts about the changes in his lifestyle since he dropped his breakout What's Poppin' in early 2020. Now he can pay for his friends and family to travel first class, right? Treat his lady to the finer things in life and upsize his mom and dad's property. Harlow also flexes his career achievements when he shouts out UPS workers who deliver his gold and platinum plaques. That's fucking crazy. That is just like, it's such a flex, but it's just so dope hearing it. God, a lot of people see it as a flexes, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's shit. But the way I see it is like shit that I wanna and that I'm gonna, when they reach. And it's just like, it's dope hearing how he deals with it. So like when it's my turn, when I deal with that shit, it's just like it gives you a clearer mind and just more aware of how you can do with the shit and how the shit's gonna turn out. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's dope hearing that, and it's so Jack Harlow, because he often talks about this kind of stuff, but it's so dope what he does because it's just like, he's putting you on game. You know what I mean? So it's very dope hearing all this shit. So yeah, obviously he interpolates lyrics from Fergie's 2007 hit "Glamorous" in the chorus. He makes an acronym with the first four letters to describe his lifestyle. That's so crazy. Harlow released First Class as the second single from Come Home, The Kids Miss You on April 8th, 2022. The production is by Jack Harlow, Angel Lopez, Charlie Handsome, Jasper Harris. So yeah, his main goal, the rapper told Rolling Stone, is to ensure the songs develop musically as they go along. Their task with the production is to make you continue to listen to a song. That's been the whole mission. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that should be the goal for every, no matter your rapper, artist, whatever, musician, whatever. That should always be the goal. It should sound great. It should have great production, sound great sonically. That people continue to listen to it years later. And that goes with like, how Kendrick Lamar, J.Cole, Drake, Drake is a great example. How their shit just continue to live on because the production was just so there was so much hours into it, making it perfect, making it just like flawless. That it just when you play it today it continues to bang because it just people worked on it a lot. So yeah, so I'm kind of gonna speed through these last topics that I have. Um, this one's fairly quick. The Kanye West, obviously the Kanye West dropping out of Coachella. That one's been like I know this is kind of old news, but the reason it has gotten out for why he did that. So he dropped out of Coachella because he claims that he's gonna go get help. Which is cool, if he really does feel like he needs help, it's fine. But I just don't like how people are always forcing him to get help. They're like, "Oh, you should get help. You need to get help. You need to get help. You need to get help." It's like, dude, can you let the man decide for himself? Like he knows himself better than any of these motherfuckers do. You know, these are just fucking internet trolls who claim they know what's best. Like, oh, dude, my dad's a doctor, bro. I know. He helps people like you. Like he needs help. You need help, dude. Like it's just like, bro, can he decide? Like he's often said it in his music that he was off the pills and he was like off the meds. He was on the meds, and he was like, dude, I've tried so many ways, but like, I believe someone in his group, I believe his name is like Justin or something, in the Kanye West group, like he said that he's on a private island right now. He's just relaxing, just thinking about, just clearing his mind, just thinking happy thoughts, just being positive, just being like, all this shit. But I just feel like, the news, the media, paparazzi, they're just making a whole lot difficult because they're always taking photos. They're always, taking photos of them. They're always, creating these headlines that are just insane, and they just make it so much harder. So I know it could be difficult, but you know what I mean. I know Kanye West is gonna recover from this, and it's best to do that because obviously, dude, he was gonna get so much money. He was gonna get like 78 million to perform at Coachella. You know what I mean? But it's just like it just shows that he doesn't do the shit for the money. Like, dude, he was gonna perform like an hour, just his fucking hits to get 78 mil. Yeah, like, dude, that's an easy dub. But he was like, dude, I gotta focus on my mental health more. And it just shows that he doesn't do this shit for money. So, like, don't even be like, bro, he's like trying to promote his album. He's trying to promote Donda 2. He's trying to promote his STEM player. He's trying to get an easy bag. Like, bro, don't even start with that shit because he's obviously putting his mental health first because he wants the best for his family, best for his kids, So, and then it allows him to be the best that he can be when he's like, helping himself, when he's healing, you know what I mean? And just like it makes everything a whole lot better. So I mean that was about it for Kanye West, but the replacement for Kanye West is The Weeknd. And I guess Coachella, when they reached out to The Weeknd to replace Kanye West, I guess they lowballed him, and they were offering to pay The Weeknd less, and The Weeknd was not happy with that. And I'm not happy with that either, cause even though Kanye West, obviously he's a fucking legend, he's a one of one. The Weeknd is also a one of one. A one of one. He's also a legend, and you gotta treat The Weeknd. You gotta treat The Weeknd like you would treat Kanye West. You know what I mean? They're both fucking, master at their craft. So the fact that they try to lowball him, and I know Kanye West maybe seem bigger than The Weeknd. I understand that, but again, this is a headliner. You have to pay The Weeknd more, dude. I mean, not more, but the same amount. It's The Weeknd, dude. Think about The Weeknd. He doesn't have one great song. He has bangers on bangers. You know what I mean? People fuck with The Weeknd. You know what I mean? They'll go crazy over him. So, you know what I mean? I just found it really fucked up that Coachella tried to lowball him. I don't know by how much. I don't know if it was like an extreme amount, but like, Even taking a mil off, dude, that's still a lot. You know what I mean? People are like, all right, send a 74 mil, we'll pay you, or no, send pay 76 mil, we'll pay you 75 mil. You know what I mean? Like it seems not like a bad deal, but like a million is still a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like that's still that's life changing money. You know what I mean? He's getting paid for that for a show, and I'm not saying that's what it was, but I'm saying like even if they did that, it's still a lot of money. You know, these are just big numbers we're talking about here. So obviously they'll seem big, but it's still a lot of money they took off from that. And I don't know why they would try to lowball the Weeknd. Like the Weeknd is not like a fucking unknown artist. Like everyone around the world fucking knows him. He sells out everywhere around the world. China, America, Europe. You know what I mean? He sells out literally everywhere. So how the fuck could you try to lowball him and be like, yeah, that's too much. Like, oh, like you're not Kanye level. It's insane. It's such a bad look for Coachella as well. You know what I mean? Because like, oh well, so you think Kanye West is better than me or whatever? It just seems that way, and it really does come off that way. So I'm in support of the Weeknd getting his bag, and plus he just dropped an album, and so people want to fucking hear his new shit. You know what I mean? And I think the only thing was Coachella was gonna put the Weeknd on, and they are, but I think they were like, okay, we'll pay you this much if you're able to bring your boys on, and his boys is what's it called, the Jefflestein. It's like three guys, but they make like great music with the Weeknd, and I guess the Weeknd agreed with that. He was like, all right, fine, that's fine with me. And I think that makes it better because I think overall now it's going to be a better concert since, there's a whole band playing with them. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And I'm very excited for this shit. For next topic, just a quickie. We also have The Game reportedly preparing a diss track aimed at Eminem. That is just insane. And I'm not saying The Game is a bad rapper. He's an elite rapper. But he does not touch Eminem. Eminem is just like the by far better rapper, and The Game has also admitted to that. You know what I mean? There's a clip of him online where he says that and I know this is when he was younger. You know what I mean? Obviously people change, but like he's also he said in the clip, you can also search it up so you can get the exact words, but he said that he would run away if Eminem ever tried to compete with him, because Eminem is just that great of a rapper, and I don't disagree with him. But the fact that now he's like, I'm a better rapper than Eminem is just like, I don't know, man. Maybe he thinks he got better with time, which I wouldn't disagree with. But like, Eminem has been this great. You know what I mean? He's always been great. So like he's always been on top of his pen, on top of his game. I mean, he literally treats his shit like a 9 to 5. He clocks in literally at 9 a.m. and he clocks out at 9 p.m. Like he literally treats his shit like a job. Well, a lot of motherfuckers just fucking hop in the studio a couple hours and then dip off and, fucking go smoke or go drink or whatever, go to the club or whatever. You know what I mean? But he treats his shit like a job. And Eminem doesn't drink. He doesn't do any of this shit. Like, this is literally his main focus. Even at this stage of his life. So, again, I'm not saying that The Game can't be competition, but dude, it's just this is gonna be insane. And hopefully this doesn't end badly. You know what I mean? And I mean like 4 more to The Game, because a lot of people were like, dude, if fucking The Game drops a diss track, then Eminem drops a diss track like the next day or whatever, whenever he drops it, The Game is gonna be like, fuck, he's gonna be scared and shit, and he's gonna fucking switch genres like MGK did. People were like, oh, he's gonna fucking do reggae next, or some shit. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I think The Game would still be rapping, but I mean, he is already kind of retired, even though he's gonna drop Drillmatic. He is kind of retired already, so You know what I mean? And people were saying that him making a diss track at Eminem, because there's obviously no reason for him to do this. Like, there's literally no reason at all. Like, nothing sparked him to do this. Like, Eminem is literally a good guy. You know what I mean? But people are saying that he's gonna do this because he wants to promote his new album, which I completely agree with. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, he's trying to promote his new album. That's why he's creating like fake internet beef with Eminem, and he's gonna drop a diss track against him. And obviously, he knows that if he gets him pissed off, Eminem is gonna respond back, and this is gonna overall do good sales for his album. So, yeah, I mean, not bad, marketing, I guess. But it does lose the connection with Eminem, which I don't know if that was something I would risk, because I would much rather be connected with Eminem, be friends and buddy with Eminem, than fucking get some clout from him. So I don't know, man. This is just like a very crazy thing, and yeah. I also had like Miley Cyrus divorcing her parents, but honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care much about that. Like, no hate against him, obviously, but I think what I said in the beginning was about it. Like, they divorced after 28 years. And again, I'm like I said in the beginning, at the end of the day, man, it's all about happiness. So if you're not happy in something, you got to take yourself out of it. So it seems like they both weren't happy, and if this makes them happier, them being divorced, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? But you just gotta really talk shit out, and you really gotta focus and be aware of what you want in life. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that was episode 9 of the Want to Mind podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. No matter where you're listening this on, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you're listening, I appreciate you. I really am glad that you were able to sit down here, listen, and yeah. I mean, I'm very excited. I will be doing interviews. I'm planning it. I'm planning interviews to do for the podcast. So make sure you tune in. And yeah, I'm just very much excited. Very blessed, and yeah, hopefully next week is gonna be crazy too. Hopefully there's some crazy topics so I can be talking about, and just stay excited, and hopefully you guys come back. And yeah, so you just follow me on everything. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in the description. Everything's gonna be in the description, but if not, it's gonna be on my YouTube, and you're gonna see everything there. All my links, I have like 13.5 thousand followers on TikTok, so you want to guys follow me there. I post two TikToks every day. Instagram's popping, and just like follow me on everything. Snapchat, I do exclusive content. Not what you're thinking, no OF shit, but like just my daily life. Working out and shit. So yeah, I mean, just get into it. You know what I mean? I Want to Mind is gonna be a fucking huge thing in the future. So just I would really recommend paying attention right now, so you're not late to the bus. All right, love you guys. Have a good one.